Hi guys, so Liz Truss had her first meeting with the Vice President of the European Commission, Maroš Šefčovič, where they spoke about how to move forward when it comes to the Northern Ireland Protocol. As we know, Lord Frost resigned from his position a few weeks ago, and Truss has taken over. But while Frost had tried to play the hard man when dealing with the European Union, the Foreign Secretary may be using a different tactic. There are reports that the meeting was much more friendly than those that took place between the EU and Frost. While the rhetoric seems to have remained the same, as you'll hear from this clip, it does seem that Truss wants to try something new.
So our priority is making sure that we protect the Belfast Good Friday Agreement and we deliver for the communities of Northern Ireland, making sure that there is trade free-flowing and making sure that people are treated fairly in Northern Ireland as they are in the rest of the United Kingdom. We've had constructive talks with the EU. We're now going to go into intensive negotiations to work towards a negotiated solution to sort out these very real issues for the people of Northern Ireland.
And what about the threats over Article 16?
Well, what I want is a negotiated solution. I think there is a deal to be done. We have had constructive talks over the last day. Of course, there is more work to do. That's why we're intensifying the discussions. I'll be seeing the Vice President again in a week's time, and I do want to make progress. Clearly, if we don't make sufficient progress, we will have to look at the alternatives, but my absolute desire is to get a deal that works for the people of Northern Ireland.
Now, there are reports that she invited the Vice President to her official residence in order to try something new. Because as we've seen, Lord Frost tried to play hard man, tried to play hardball with the European Union, and it didn't really work. So according to some pro-Brexit outlets, it seems that Liz Truss is trying something new, trying to be a bit more diplomatic. She invited him to her official residence, treated him really well, and it didn't put him in an uncomfortable chair, it seems. And this may be a change. Now, as I said on numerous occasions, I wish journalists had actually asked the question when she said there are issues facing Northern Ireland. I wish the journalist had asked her, what issues? Can you list them? Because if there are specific problems, then we can look at them and try and find a solution. But as I said before, Brexiteers are not interested in finding solutions. They're only interested in creating problems. And I think this whole we're going to trigger Article 16 is a distraction. It's used by Truss or Frost to help Boris Johnson get out of a hole. There's a problem at the moment. Say we're going to trigger Article 16 and it distracts the public for a few days. And then we move on. Oh yes, we're not going to do it now. And it also keeps unionists in Northern Ireland happy because they want Article 16 to be triggered because they believe that it would bring down the protocol. I don't believe that the UK government want to get rid of the protocol. If they did, they would have triggered Article 16 6 months ago when they said that they could. Now, she says that there are issues in Northern Ireland that need to be sorted out. Well, the problem with that is that manufacturers, businesses in Northern Ireland have a different opinion. This is from The Guardian. It says, manufacturers in Northern Ireland have ranked the post-Brexit arrangements for trade in Northern Ireland as the least of the challenges facing their businesses, according to a quarterly industry survey, with 28% saying that trade with the EU has increased over the last year. So some businesses are doing very well as a consequence of this. The top concern was listed as labour shortages caused by the pandemic, but also the end of freedom of movement that prevents EU citizens living in border counties in the Republic of Ireland crossing into Northern Ireland for work. So this is nothing to do with the protocol. This is a consequence of Brexit. Now, when Brexiteers will say it's the protocol that's the problem, no. In this specific case, the protocol has nothing to do with the ending of freedom of movement. This is a consequence of the type of Brexit that Boris Johnson wanted. And this is a concern for business. They're one of their top concerns. The protocol was the least of our worries, said Stephen Kelly, Chief Executive of Manufacturing Northern Ireland, which conducted the survey. While we all get caught up in the political narrative, in business the bigger concerns are staff recruitment, productivity, and then the pandemic itself. It goes on to say, it shows the narrative favoured by the DUP and others that Northern Ireland is going to hell in a handcart because of the protocol is clearly not the case, quite the opposite, Kelly added. He said that there was a huge uptick in the number of firms accepting that the protocol is here to stay, but many want it to work better through simplifications of paperwork. Is the protocol perfect? Of course it's not. But the best way to deal with the problems of the protocol are within the framework of the protocol. And we've seen how that has worked. The European Union have reached out to businesses in Northern Ireland, met with them and said, okay, what can we do within the framework of the protocol to resolve these problems? And businesses have responded positively. The EU have responded positively. The people who are not responding positively are the likes of Liz Truss, Lord Frost, and Brexiteers. As I said before, Brexiteers want to create problems. They don't want to find solutions. Is Liz Truss going to continue this idea of we're going to trigger Article 16? Of course she is, because it's now, I feel, official government policy to hold the sword of Damocles that is Article 16 over the heads of the people of Northern Ireland. And it's dangerous, it's disgusting, and it's quite depressing really, because as we see, businesses in Northern Ireland are benefiting from the fact that Northern Ireland is in a unique position that it has access to the EU single market and it has access to the UK internal market. We even heard Brexiteers like Michael Gove say that last year. Now Brexiteers have changed their rhetoric completely, saying that the protocol is not working. Once again, I wish journalists would ask people like Liz Truss or Lord Frost the specific question. Explain to us how the protocol is not working. Can you give us specific examples of how we can fix these problems so we can fix them? Because as we've seen, the European Union is listening to businesses, listening to stakeholders in Northern Ireland, asking them for feedback. What can we do to fix this? And they have fixed it. Are there issues? Yes, there are. But these, as we've seen, are the consequences of Brexit. If there was no Brexit, there would be no protocol. And the people who are demanding that the protocol get removed are the same people who want Brexit reinforced. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.